one step in front of everybody else because you're not desperately looking for anything.
Yeah.
You're looking for this.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's like, wow. I mean, I
love it. It's
nobody
like,
had ever given him this kind of advice
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm just the Uber driver, you know.
but it's like you're also a therapist or,
Oh,
like
exactly.
advice giver and like, it's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
So-
You get unexpected advice from, I don't know, titles I've realized have meant less and less and less the farther I've gone in life. You know?
Oh, yeah.
But your first name, is it pronounced Teresa?
Teresa.
Teresa, that's what he said your name when you were not down. Wait, I'm like, he said something different than I expected. But
Yeah. No, I know. It's different.
I'm literally just going to kick this off right here. And yeah, I already hit record, so.
It's how we
Yeah.
do things. We just kind of go in
we
it.
just
That's
send
fine.
it.
No worries.
Brief introduction. You got Rodney Norman here and his wife, Teresa.
Yes.
Teresa Norman. Awesome. Oh, I appreciate you guys allowing us to come to your home, and this is cool.
Yeah.
Not too bad of a drive for
Straightforward.
Just short of 4 hours. 4 hours. So.
Yeah, it's not bad.
You know, I remember the days when 4 hours was
A lot. Yeah. But now we're getting older, and I'm like getting up from a 4-hour drive, and I'm like, my hips. You know?
Well, it probably didn't help that I said something to her at 8 o'clock last night.
Yeah, it's okay though. We're kind of sporadic like that. It's,
Yeah.
Also, again, it's like how we do things. That you got to live life like that. I feel.
We cannot complain about traveling. I feel like to these people. How many miles a year do you guys drive? You think?
All of them.
Yeah.
A lot. I mean, right now I've been tracking my mileage, and I'm doing anywhere from 300 to 500 miles a day.
Oh wow.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh! Wow.
So yeah, a lot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I'm not even including Uber, and I got to remember that's a factor in there too.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, it's something I do to keep from going stir crazy when he's gone.
Yeah.
There's only so many times I can mop the floor and rearrange the spice cabinet
Right.
before I'm like, I need to get out of the house. I
Yeah.
need to talk to people.
Right.
Man, so we're just talking about it. It's been like 2 years, just about to this exact date since Rodney drove out to meet us. And I talked about this actually on one of our recent podcasts. I'm like, yeah, that guy, you've seen him on Facebook and on TikTok and stuff, because we recorded with Eddie Pinero. And I was telling him how it's like, I messaged Rodney, I saw some of his stuff, and I'm like, I feel like this guy'd be interesting to talk to. I don't know what it was about him. And I reached out on LinkedIn. I'm like, hey, you have any interest in a podcast? He's like, yeah, sure. I'm like, okay. When did you? He's like, well, I'm touring the East Coast. He's like, I could. You're in New York, and I'm like, yeah. He's like, I can come this weekend. I'm like, okay. That was easier than expected.
And then it's like, oh, he's going to our house.
Yeah.
What? I'm like, my house is a mess. Oh my gosh. So I was like freaking out, but it's fine.
Oh man.
Trust me, it's mutual. Oh, they're coming to our house. Okay.
No, this is awesome. But man, it's crazy. Like, and I was telling my dad before he came here. I'm like, we're part of a club that nobody really wants to be part of, and we have a lot of relatable stuff that we've navigated or that we're navigating. So I think what we're navigating the rest of our lives.
Oh yeah.
But 2 years ago, a lot has changed. We started this podcast mainly just because we were navigating adversity, but it's like, I don't know. I think just having authentic conversation about life, I think that's important, not just adversity. And then one of the main reasons I really wanted to talk and just kind of one of the things I wanted to drill into all over again was Rodney. I sent you that part of our conversation from last time where I was talking about, or you were talking about in the short that I posted about PTSD and stuff. And we're talking about mental health, and it was...
Yeah. That got a lot of reactions.
Yeah. It was funny because there's a guy that commented on there, and I was laughing harder than you could imagine. He's like, "You're just trying to sell T-shirts," and you put a link to your T-shirts on there. People get so frustrated when people have a different perspective than you do. Like you're just saying essentially like a lot of how you feel. I thought, and I've said. This
I was explaining what the goal of therapy is.
Yeah.
Right.
And I explained why it works and how it works. And people just blew up at me. Like, how dare you make it seem so simple? I'm like, I just explained what the therapy is.
Yeah.
I didn't say it was easy.
Yeah.
I said all the answers are simple, but doesn't mean you can execute them perfectly.
Yeah.
I
Right.
mean, but I had somebody made a comment on it was I posted the one of my shows got canceled.
Yeah.
I just said, hey, if you got tickets, you're going to get your money back. Don't worry. And one of the people said, well, I'm glad it got canceled. Because he did this video about PTSD and he just totally
Oh my gosh.
how dare you just even make fun of it. And it was like the whole thing was just that I made fun of PTSD, and I'm like, I don't know what they're talking about. And I couldn't remember, I didn't know if it was the video I did with you or
I
if
think
I
it probably
did,
was.
because I did a video about PTSD that somebody who had been through it
Yep.
asked that I make him one.
Yep.
And so I went through and I thought about it, and I was like, okay. So I studied the therapy, and so okay, this is what, if you go to get therapy for PTSD, this is what they're going to tell you is your goal. So that's what I explained in my video, but I did it in in a fun, just lighthearted way.
Yeah.
And they were just threw a fit about this whole thing. Somebody else got on there and they started going on about it too, and I was like, man, tell me you didn't see the whole video without telling me you didn't see the whole video.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing, especially when you clip. And I love it though when you clip just part of the conversation to get a reaction from people.
Yeah.
And boy, they don't disappoint you.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you hope that they would go and look, what's the whole story?
Yeah.
here?
Right.
But they don't. They make that a whole judgment based on that one little segment.
Yeah.
And it helps the algorithm. So please keep flying off the handle
Like, thank
and
you.
just making ridiculous comments.
Yeah.
I just love it. It's so fun.
Oh man. Yeah. And how many shows have you done this year?
Oh, I don't know. Well, it's been at least two to three a week.
Oh wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I didn't realize it was so many.
Yeah.
Well, if
sometimes
he doesn't
more.
work, then we don't eat.
Yeah.
Right?
So
Yeah, I just gotta keep moving. And I'm getting, and just the nature of the beast. I keep getting shows like the one in Bend that got canceled. It was sort of threw together, had 2 weeks to advertise it, fell apart, but then
somebody else.
that was on a Thursday, and then somebody else saw I lost that show, so he went and talked to another venue. Didn't know them, just found out who was booking it, went and talked to them, and on a Saturday morning,
Yeah.
and they got talking, and she's like, oh yeah, we'd love to have him when he's available, and he's like, well, he's here in town now, and she's like, oh, that's that's crazy. Well, by Saturday afternoon, she decided to do the show, contacted me and said, hey, can you do one on Monday? And I'm like,
just barely.
Yeah.
barely.
Yeah.
Do you think we could get people to show up? She's like, yeah, I think we
Yeah.
can. And so Saturday night we announced it. We had it sold out for
Awesome.
Monday.
Wow.
So it was
Quick.
Yeah, it
Wow.
was pretty
Heck
crazy.
yeah. I was just thinking of something I'd make sure I did not check. Okay, none
What?
of them are on.
His slow-mo?
No, I almost did. Yeah,
Could you imagine?
this one was on 30.
Oh, that's funny.
That one was good. It was just on 60 FPS, so would have used double the memory. We don't need that.
Oh,
Let
okay.
me zoom it back in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good thing. If that was, imagine if all of them were on slow-mo the entire time.
That would be awful because it's like really.
No, the audio would be fine. We could make this really, really entertaining.
Yes. Well, you learn from the
Oh my
mistakes.
gosh. Yes,
You don't
do.
learn from things being perfect. It's
Right.
when things are screwed up and you
Yeah.
go, well, I'm not doing that again.
Yeah.
And then you do
Yeah.
it again and you go,
I said I was not doing that again.
What is it?
I know.
A poorly planned. What I'm going to slot it as paraphrasing it, but a poorly planned plan executed today is better than a perfect plan next week or something like that.
oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't say it right, but I'm close enough.
Yeah.
I think.
I know exactly what you're talking about. So at least you started, you know.
Yeah.
That's,
Right.
And it's something that, he talks about. So
Yep.
quite a bit.
I want to touch upon whatever, I tread lightly on stuff like this. I don't know. I don't want to, it's got your guys' business and stuff, but obviously, on the outside looking in, I knew little snippets and stuff of like what you guys navigated with your daughter last year. And what was it?
Well,
20?
actually, it was
2 years ago.
she was diagnosed. She went into the hospital Memorial Weekend of 24. So
It
2
was
years
24.
ago.
Holy cow.
2 years. It was when she went into the hospital, and then by mid-June is when they came back with the diagnosis, and then she passed day after
3rd.
Thanksgiving. So
August 30th. No, November 30th.
November
I'm sorry.
30th. Yeah, she passed right after. I mean, we had the whole family here, so it was.
Can I ask, like, what made her go to the hospital? Like, was she sick? Like, she felt sick, or like?
So, it's she was having back pain,
Okay.
and that started, in like April.
Well, she had some minor discomfort
Yeah.
for several months, but it really became painful in April.
In April, and so we were gone. So she had her brother take her to the emergency room,
Yeah.
and she goes in. Hey, I'm having back pain, and they go.
They're like,
Yeah,
sure.
you're having back
You know.
pain. You want some
Which-
you want some medication for
Right.
that? And I mean,
And it is something that they're trained to look for.
Yeah.
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 So,
We understand
and I get it. And we got back, and she said she'd gone to the ER, and I said, back pain is not something you go to the ER for, because they're going to just look at you like you're, searching for drugs. I says, you need to go to a primary care physician. And she's like, well, who do I go to? So I set her up with a primary care. She went in, and they were again like, well, we're going to have to watch and do this and, whatever. And, they really, again, didn't go anywhere with it.
Yeah.
And so I said, well, maybe if you go to a chiropractor. And so we set her up with a chiropractor, and she went in, and she's like, well, I feel a little bit better, but I still am in a lot of pain. And, the only thing that would relieve it was, taking a hot tub, a hot bath and soaking, and, and then she'd feel better for a while, and then she'd, things would happen. And she was, she was walking with a cane, and she actually even bought a little wheeled walk, one of those mobile walker
Yep.
thingies.
Yeah.
She had a wheelchair.
And she had a wheelchair. That
She's 28,
she was 27.
27.
And so, it was just, we weren't getting to the bottom of this back pain. And the doctors were just not, doing anything either. And so she had this friend who said, well, if the only thing that helps you is a nice hot bath, then what you need to do is you need to go get in a hot tub. And there's a really, you could go to like the Marriott downtown, and they've got a really nice hot tub, and you can go soak in it. Maybe if you, took a weekend and did that, that would be helpful. Right. And, my daughter was like, well, I can't afford it. And she's like, well, your parents can afford it. And we're like, we're not gonna put you up at the Marriott for the weekend so you can go soak in a hot tub. That's
Right.
not gonna solve your problem. So her friend was
Yeah.
like, well, you don't care. And
Well, all the doctors kept telling her, well, it's all in your head. Anyway,
Oh, wow.
it's,
Yeah.
it's just,
it's just, and so
So her friend was
Her-
like, well, if they think it's all in your head, they think you're crazy, then go check in the psych ward.
So that's what they did. Memorial Weekend, and it was funny because we're like, well, do you want us to drive you down there? And her friend was like, someone who cares is going to take her, and it was like, we care, but we want to solve the problem. We don't want to just put a Band-Aid on
Right.
it,
Right.
and anything that we've done so far has not been helpful. So took her into the psych ward. She checks in, and she was there for about a week, right?
Yeah, it was just under a week.
And they were like, there's something really the matter with you. It's not psychological. And so they sent her over to the hospital, and she was there for, she had checked into the hospital right as we were heading out of town. We were heading to Utah. We were going to be gone for a long time. And it took us 3 days to get to Utah, and then we were there for another 2 or 3 days before we got the message from her saying, hey, is there any family history of cancer? And Rodney's like, yeah, there's lots of family history of cancer on his side. And she's like, well, they think it might be that. And it was, a day later, she's like, yeah, it's cancer. I got cancer. And she was happy about it.
Like maybe because she knew what.
Yeah,
was
well,
wrong.
I mean, like I
Right.
said,
Yeah,
I mean, her oncologist, she
Right.
called the oncologist. I mean, it was funny when she told us, she was like, yeah, it's cancer. And so we called and talked to the oncologist, and the oncologist, he's like, I have never given somebody a diagnosis of cancer and had them be happy. And she's like, well, yeah, of course, because, finally it's like, hey, it's something that people understand and it's real.
I'm not crazy.
I'm not
Right.
crazy.
Right.
I can actually get treatment now.
Yeah.
It was.
Right.
And so it was, so she, I said that was mid-June. We came back.
Well, we talked to the doctor.
Yeah.
I've had these conversations with doctors before. I mean, my dad had cancer, my brother has cancer, both my sisters have had cancer. And I'm familiar.
Yeah.
And so I could just tell about the conversation, explaining the procedure and the treatment and everything when we got off the phone. I remember it was a Sunday morning. We were in Utah. And we had, like I said, we were going to be on the road for several weeks still. And when we had the conversation with the doctor, I understood what they were saying without them saying it, was that she's dying, there's nothing we can do. We
Really?
can slow it down, but it's not going to stop it.
Yeah.
And so that's when I got off the phone. I just looked at Tressa. I said, she's dying. We need to go be with her.
Wow.
So we just canceled a few things and, headed back. And because even though she was, in good spirits about the whole thing, it was like I knew that this was it. This was not. It was so far gone. It was like the doctor, could tell from the doctor that they weren't going to cure it. They
Yeah.
weren't
I
gonna
mean,
solve
she was,
this.
I said by the time they figured it out, she was stage 4. I mean, they couldn't even decide at that point where it had started. They were like, we think it might have been your uterus, could have been the ovaries, we're not sure, but it's now spread into your bones. And that's where she was having the back pain.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was.
Yeah, it was into her bones, so it was causing her bones to become very fragile, and they were cracking.
Oh my gosh.
And that's what the pain was.
Wow.
It's so weird sometimes to me why it takes the hospital doctors or whatever so long to figure it out. They just kind of think, hey, it's nothing when people go see them, and maybe a lot of times it is nothing.
Yeah.
But it's like it.
Well, to their point though, there's so many people now with
Right.
addiction
Right,
issues
I
or
know.
substance issues, whereas
Yeah.
so it's like
Yeah.
they
I
got
know they can't check every single person that's like, I don't feel
Yeah.
good. All right, let's do all this stuff.
Well, and at the time, she didn't have insurance either. So, she was working a job, but it didn't, provide insurance
Right.
for her.
We were helping her and
And
everything.
so it was, it's like, well, you're not insured, so we're not going to really delve into this because we can't bill the insurance company. And she did end up,
Well,
you know,
because
they-
she ended up, losing her job. And so then the state stepped in with Medicaid, Medicare, and all of that stuff. and
yeah,
that's
yeah.
what-
it's weird though. Is I've talked to so many people in the last year and a half, 2 years, where they said, "I wish I didn't do chemotherapy," or "I wish my loved one didn't do chemotherapy," because I feel like that made their quality of life towards the end.
Yeah.
that's how we kind of. I mean, it was her decision. She wanted to do it, but in looking back, we know that what killed our daughter was not the cancer; it was the treatment, because the chemotherapy destroyed her kidneys, and it
I've heard that
failed
so
her.
many
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
lately.
Well, I mean,
And-
it was, she
and-
had finished all of her chemo, and then they did this double dose of, I can't remember what it was, but it was like a follow-up treatment. And they're like, okay, so instead of coming in every 3 weeks for chemo, you're going to come in every 6 weeks, but we start you off with a double dose to get. And I mean, she had reacted poorly to the chemotherapy to begin with. So that it was that double dose that really just
It's too much.
too much.
Yeah.
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 And And we knew it was only just going to delay it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I mean, they had
the
said
part of what our thought process is that if she hadn't taken that and had just gone more natural and everything, she probably would have stayed on for another year or two.
Yeah.
We would have had more time with her.
Right.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's her quality of life had dropped so much she couldn't really walk. We had to carry her everywhere.
Yeah.
She was bedridden. She was gaining weight. And she was she would just sleep all the time. I mean, she really wasn't
yeah, she had
doing much of anything.
And I think, to be honest, when it came down to the last of it, we, it was Sunday. We went in and we're having a conversation with her, and we could tell that she was a little out of it. So we knew that tomorrow, Monday, she'd go back into the hospital because she was in full-time nursing home. She was, the youngest resident there. And we knew that, come tomorrow when her regular nurses came in, they'd send her back to the hospital. And she was, pretty upbeat and chipper. And, it wasn't, till Friday that she passed, but it happened so quickly. I don't think that she even had time to be scared because,
I mean, by the time it really started hitting, she was gone. I mean, she,
Yeah.
I went and sat with her in the hospital. I think it was either Monday night or Tuesday night.
I think it was
And-
Monday.
Monday night. And when I got there, she said, "Hey, Dad's here. So everything's going to be okay now." And then she just
Never really got
was
conscious
that never
again.
really
Never really came
that
back
was-
after that.
It's a lot of it is very. I'm not used to talking to people where it's actually semi-relatable. They're so relatable. With my daughter, it's like I wish I could have had that goodbye that you guys had.
Yeah,
so
see,
it's
we're
like,
grateful. We got to tell her goodbye for 6 months.
And
We
Yeah.
got to tell her we loved her and
yeah.
give her hugs.
And I've felt guilty, and I on and off. Now I kind of go back and forth. Whereas, because I had to make a decision when it came to life support, and the decision was, the doctors and the family were like, she in theory she could be in pain right now because of the swelling in her brain, and the doctor said best case scenario if she ever wakes up is she won't be able to move, and I said my daughter would kick my ass if I allowed that. I'm like, but in the same sense, I think you hear about these miraculous recoveries. So it's like, what if this could have been one of those miraculous recoveries where they were wrong? Because they're wrong.
Yeah.
They're wrong all the
Doctors
time.
are wrong all the time.
Exactly. But I got a second opinion from a friend of mine who was a neurologist and stuff, and it was, there was severe shearing in each part of the brain. But, and my mind always would go back to this time, when my daughter was younger, and where I promised her I'd never give up on her. Very different circumstances, as we were just talking about, just never giving up on her, trying to stay positive and, positive reinforcement, no matter how difficult things got with parenting, because parenting can be a pain right in the ass, as we all know. But, man.
But, I look back personally, and I'm, I didn't have just our circumstances, how we were able to, I basically switched places with my son. I ran his business because it was the business that I used to be in. So I was able to come here, do that, be with her full time. I had to work, but it was, setting my own schedule, doing my own thing. And, he was able to continue to go out because my son Joshua was able to go out and help him do his stuff on the road. And so, there was so many little things like that it's like not everybody has that opportunity to have that situation where they can, manipulate things so that they can make it work out the best for everybody. And we were able to do that. So, that's one of the many blessings. There's so many. And I talked to a woman a while ago, and she told me she was angry with God. And I says, "Why is that?" And she says, "Well, my son died from cancer." And she's like, "And I prayed to God every day that God would take me instead." And God didn't listen. He took my son. And I said, "Well, how old was your son?" he was 56, and this woman was 83. And she's like, but my life was over. God could have taken me and could have fixed my son, and it would have been just fine. And I said, I don't think that was the right thing to ask God for. And she's like, how dare you? And I says, no, look. I says, my daughter went through this same thing, and I never once asked God to take me instead of her. I said, make her, take away her pain, take away her suffering, take away her discomfort. Do what's best for her, not for me.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not gonna. People ask me all the time. They're like, how many kids do you have? I'm like, I have 5. And like, oh wow, that's really hard. And I'm like, well, you don't know, and because they'll be all the time, because you don't want to discount the fact that you've got 5 kids, but then they ask, oh, where are they at? What are they doing? And like, well, I've got 2 of them that aren't with me anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
But,
You don't want to bum people out.
Yes.
You don't want
It makes the whole conversation that you're having with that person maybe a little awkward for them and
little.
yourself.
Yeah.
Because working at elementary school,
Yeah.
I get kids asking me, how many kids do you have? And I don't really get into it with them because they're too young. You know, I'm like 5, But it is it kind of catches me off guard sometimes. Like, what do I say?
Yeah, think about it. We talked
It is.
about
It
that.
is.
Yeah.
It is because the second you say 5, they go, oh,
Yes, they
that's
do.
so many.
Yeah.
How do you handle it?
Yeah, I just saw an interview with some lady, same circumstance, and she said her response is, "Well, I have 3 living and I have 2 angels."
Yeah.
And it was interesting because it was like it was sort of like a way of just sort of letting you know, hey, I'm okay. We don't need to talk about it.
Yeah.
Right.
It was
Yeah.
just, but instead of saying, oh, they're passed or they died, because that kind of bums people out.
Yeah.
But when you say
Yeah.
got 2 angels,
Yep.
it sort of takes the pressure off them. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or you go,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
I've had people stop me in the hall at like work or something. They'll be like, I haven't said anything to you, and since I've been back quite a while now at this point, and then just like, I just want to tell you I'm sorry for your loss. And like, I'm like, no, it's like they're actually super worried about it. I'm like, no, it's fine. I'm like I like talking about it, and I not necessarily. It's not like all I want to talk about. I like people to know, not for like sympathy either. I want them to know because like if they see us navigating life and like the amount of people that have seen you navigating life and like still continuing going on. 'Cause we had this guy. He said something to us. Terry Tucker. He was on our podcast. He's terminally ill with cancer right now. He's been terminally ill for quite a while though, and he was a hostage negotiator for the Cincinnati Police Department, but he has dedicated his life to positivity, and it's beautiful. And he said something to us. This is really relevant. So we recorded last spring, way before the accident. I forgot about his episode because it was a remote one over online, and I kind of like, I don't know what I did, but 8-9 months later, I decided, I'm like, oh my God, I never put Terry Tucker's episode out. And I'm editing his podcast episode. This is 3 or 4 months after the accident. I was in tears. I was meant to hear the conversation with this man, ironically with myself,
Right.
at that point in time. And the stuff he was talking about, and one of the things that just has echoed through my head, which is really important for both of you guys too, is like he said, you never have any idea how many people are watching how you handle your adversity. And and I just, and he said, he's like, if I were given the option to take away my cancer, go back in time and take away my cancer, he's like, I wouldn't. He's like, cancer made me a better person. And I'm just like, if we were all able to somehow get away from having a bitter outlook on life of what has happened to you, and you were able to somehow have a similar perspective, which I don't think I'll ever get there, with saying, I'm okay with my kids passing away at the ages they did. However, there has been so much silver lining from this horrible, horrible situation, and I want to dedicate my life to making as much silver lining as humanly possible to this shitty situation, because like, what else is there?
Well, like I said, you look at what we call tender mercies. That even though you went through this horrible situation, there are so many things that you look back and you're like, wow, that was amazing. That was. Some of the conversations I had with my daughter, when she passed, and but conversations about It starts off as simple as, well, okay, your brother is buried in Lehigh. Do you want to be buried, you know, if something happens, and it seems like a horrible thing to have a conversation about, but you've got to have those conversations. You've got to be prepared. But at least, with her, I was able to have those conversations.
Yes.
With my son, it was just, here one moment, gone the next. But still, I look back at that experience, and I'm like, because again, it was my fifth child. And one of the things that because my eldest was born premature and, was life flighted to another hospital. And, they're like, they didn't think he was going to make it. And so I immediately checked out of the hospital. And I kind of kept that mode for the other kids that I had. I would immediately check out of the hospital. I'd go home. I mean, I was in and out from, having a kid 12 hours at most, because I had really super quick labors, and I'm like always cost conscientious, and so I'm like, I'm going home.
She's got good birth and hips.
And when I had Thad, he had really great insurance. And they were like, do you want to spend an extra day in the hospital? I make sure, I spent the extra day in the hospital. I didn't go home. There were again, because I'd been working so much, I ended up, bottle feeding immediately. And with him, I was like, I'm not working. I'm going to breastfeed. I'm going to do that. And, and I look back and it's like, so he died of pneumonia. If I hadn't breastfed, I would have been like, oh, maybe if I'd given him those antibodies, because they say breastfeeding is, good, but that's not the case, because I actually did breastfeed him, and, I spent that extra day in the hospital, and I, this and that, so many things that happened, that were different from my other kids, and I didn't, realize until later that how much of a blessing all of that was, because did not second guess any of it. Going back, it's like, oh, I didn't get him in for his wellness check. No, I did. He'd been in for his wellness check that morning. There was so many things that I looked at that I'm like,
She did everything the doctors told her to do.
Yeah, it was, there was so much about it that it was like, I didn't have that.
Like, you did all the things.
I did all the things. There wasn't anything for me to go back and go, oh, if I had only.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And, again, even with Tiana, it was, I did, we did all the things that we could, that we, knew of. And then we were able to take the time and spend with her. And so I look back at it not as a curse, as something that was, horrible. I look at it as we actually were so blessed in that if we had to go through that experience, we had the blessing of having the comfort of doing what we needed to do to make it not a horrible time.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's a bit, she had returned home. She'd been out living her life. And things had just gotten to a point where she just really needed to come home.
And regroup,
And, we welcomed her with open arms. And grateful that we got to, be with her through all of that.
Right.
Yeah, because, she moved back about, what was it, in October of 23?
It was a little before,
Yeah. And so, we got, it was, I think it was a little bit before then. So September.
Because I took her to Salem.
Oh, yeah. He
Yeah.
went up to Salem for Halloween that year and spent the day together. So
That's cool.
And she had to push her in a wheelchair. 'Cause, and she was significant.
he was a big girl.
I got a good workout. We had a lot of fun. There's a lot of cobblestones in Salem.
It's like,
I think we went over every single one.
yeah.
So, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So
Grateful for those memories, man.
yeah.
That's the thing. Because she had what is now my office. It had been my office when she moved in. I moved out. It became her bedroom. and so a lot of her things are still in there. You know, little dolls and things, and you know, and I'm sure you guys have gone through this where you're like going through her stuff, and it's like, okay, what do we get rid of, and what do we keep? And it's like you want to keep everything.
Real quick,
You know?
this is this past weekend. Literally, it's hard to talk about. We were cleaning out the shed, and we had Amazon cardboard in there from the whole winters that we were burning. May or may not been during a burn ban.
Anyway.
But in the back side of this shed, for about a year now, we've had, actually a little over a year, because my daughter wasn't living with us the last 2 years, but we had her bunk bed in the corner. And I'm cleaning it out, and I'm taking all the wood out. I'm like, I'm like, you know, I'm going to burn it. And I'm like, maybe we should give it away to somebody. And then I come out front to like say something to her. And I was good. I wasn't emotional or nothing. Normally, I'm the emotional one. 9 times out of 10, if somebody's getting emotional, it's me.
Yeah.
And
I usually just...
I walk up to her with a part of the bunk bed in hand, or there was a ladder in my hands. I don't remember what it was.
I don't know.
But I'm like, hey, we should put this next side of the road. And she's like, I don't even know what you said, but she started getting wicked emotional. And then I went into a spiral, and I had this whole thing unloaded out of the shed, and I had it leaned up against the house, and
we're like, what do we do with it? Do we, you know, like give it away?
Fast forward an hour later, you see me putting it all back in the shed in the corner, and I'm like, I don't know. And it's whatever. Whenever we get rid of it, it's not hurting anything being there. And then I was thinking, because we're building a podcast studio, as I was just telling you guys about, I was thinking, I'm like, I bet I could make a crafty shelf or something neat out of the bunk bed to, you know, because it is nice wood. And, But getting rid of those things, you know, there's right off the top of my head, there's a bag of sunflower seeds that has been in this drawer we have a picture of my son, like from a few weeks before the accident, of him eating these sunflower seeds, and it was the most beautiful picture next to the water too. And that was the one with a squirrel next to us too.
Yeah.
The squirrel peeking around a tree at my son.
He's like looking back
and
at it.
Just really cool photo.
Yeah.
And every time I see that, and I'm waiting for her to be like, oh shit, I just threw that bag of sunflower seeds away. But
I haven't touched anything, but it's weird about when you talk about like the stuff and stuff we all have here. It's just junk. Like we don't take it with us when we die, but it's sentimental, and we still have his loofah in the shower. Like I haven't touched it. Normally I'm like, get rid of this if it's you know, whatever. I can't touch it yet.
And
it's weird.
You talk about pain. It's like, I don't think the pain really gets easy over time. It's just, I think you get
used to it.
Yeah.
You just have a different relationship with it. It's like
Right.
I tell people I have this little thing that I go through. I have, because it'll be like you're driving along, and you hear a song that she loved, or, you know, just little things that remind you.
Yep.
And you know, you kind of go through all the grief. You feel all the grief all again, all over again.
Yes.
Yep. And I'd rather feel it than not feel it.
And that's exactly. It's like I want to feel that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I need to feel it.
Yep. I don't want that to go away.
Right.
And then I twist it, and I just start remembering the good times.
Yes.
Good things.
Yep.
And it sort of brings back. It's sort of like the grief helps me relive the love.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. That's an important. I need to start reframing it like that. I needed to hear that, to be honest with you, because, you know, there's still days I tell people, because there's so many people who are like, oh, you're so strong. I'm like, I mean, I'm proud of how we are handling this overall, but I'm like, people don't see. There's so many days where it's like, I'm crying on my way to work, I'm crying on my lunch out into my sneaking out into my vehicle, I'm crying on my way home, and I'm okay with it. Like, there's nothing wrong with crying, but, and kind of like you were saying though, like I need to just think of that as like just the feeling of the love for them. I mean, you know.
Well, because the love never goes away.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
there
and that's what the
forever.
grief is just
Because you
love.
love so hard.
Love with no
like,
place to go.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And have you guys ever experienced in this like, I've had a problem where it's like, when I say to people, when you go through unimaginable nightmares, and it's a little different because it's all at once, it really takes your threshold for what can go wrong, and it raises the bar. But it's weird because I don't really feel like I have anxiety. Every once in a while, my mind will go like, I'll just be extra scared of what could happen, and I don't know. And on the outside looking in, you guys seem like very like, you know, life's gonna happen, whatever. And it seems like who you guys are.
It's
Right.
sort of
Right.
Well, you realize how fragile life is.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
how quickly and easily it can just be gone.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's I have those times where I hadn't heard from our boys for a while. I start wondering, are they okay?
Yeah.
Well, they call me almost every day.
We have the life we have the
Yeah.
life 360 thing.
Yep.
And check in, see what they're doing, and everything. And now Tressa's been doing this
Doing the Uber.
thing. I find myself constantly checking.
Yeah.
Has she been there too long? Why would
Oh,
she still
yeah.
be there? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's kind of fun because she sort of taken it on as this as a calling, as it were, because there's a lot of women who want to have a woman drive them, especially late at night.
I
Okay.
totally.
And so it's sort of this weird thing where she feels like she's providing a service, but at the same time I'm like, well, being a woman by yourself out late at night driving around, not necessarily. So it's like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah,
I appreciate why she's doing it.
There's not a lot of women drivers, and
Yeah.
there's especially not a lot of women drivers at night. But
Okay.
there's still
Right.
a lot of women passengers at night, and I just feel like I am not. I've always been. I mean, I started my first job when I was 15, and I was in a lot of dark alleys. I did inventory, and you'd always go into the store. You'd always enter in through the back. It would always be, early morning or late at night. And, it was just one of those things that from a young age, I wasn't scared of. I mean, maybe I was too young and naive. I don't know, but I wasn't scared of those kind of places. And then I've always, before I worked for myself, I worked in male-dominated professions. So, I worked selling auto parts. I worked doing, it wasn't, construction. I was doing, structural steel, but still male-dominated industry.
Right.
When I went to school, it was male-dominated. And so I just, that whole thing, came out about, oh, would you choose the bear or the guy? I'm like, I would choose the bear. I'd choose the guy. I will never choose the bear because the bear's going to eat me regardless. The guy I can handle. I know men, and I'm not afraid of men.
Right.
And it's funny because even going out and driving, and there's I talk to a lot of women, and they're they have a natural tendency to be afraid of men, and I get it, I understand it, but I don't share it.
Right.
And so I just feel like I have, it doesn't bother me to be out at night.
Yeah.
And, if I can provide that service to help them feel better,
Yep.
then, that's something that I want to do. And he gets nervous about it. He's watching me like,
Oh, I'm sure.
and
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, but I feel like I'm able to handle most men.
Yeah.
And if I'm not,
Right.
then
Life.
I'm not. But
Like-
I don't want to be like, all of a sudden this, two, in a year, and you guys go back, yeah.
Yeah.
Guess what happened to her? But
Oh, yeah.
but I just,
I know what you mean, though.
Yeah.
but no, I just like I said, I feel like I'm doing something good for
Yeah.
other women, and it just
sure.
gives me a sense of purpose, and plus the fact that I talk to these people, and I just feel like a lot of times I talk to people who have no guidance, or I
Yeah.
get into some amazing discussions.
Yeah.
Oh, I
with
bet you
people.
do. I mean, I've thought
Well,
of
there's
that,
a
too.
lot of lack in just working in elementary school, knowing how some of the kids are, how they're living, or lack of parental
Yeah.
guidance and stuff like that. Getting older, it's still lacking because they've never had it. So when they get someone that's like giving them this amazing advice, and it makes them feel good,
Yeah.
and it makes like they don't even know you, but you care.
Yeah.
Like that could just change the
A lot of people
their
are just so
journey in life a
isolated.
little bit.
Well, and for what it's worth, I tell them about Rodney too. So I'm like,
yes.
you need a life coach. Here, follow this guy.
Yes.
He's
Yeah.
going to give you some really good advice, and it's
Yeah.
really good. And there was talking to a gal the other day. She's like, "You're really into the guerrilla marketing thing." I'm like, maybe just
Maybe a little bit. Yeah.
like that word of mouth. I'm sorry. I talk about my life. I talk about my husband.
Yes.
It's just,
Yeah.
That's what we do too. You
Yep.
know. Yeah.
And yeah, I've always felt like people. There's people that are happy for you. There's a lot of people that aren't happy when you're happy. They're not happy. Especially I've found when you're able to navigate tragedy, and you're able to be all right. I feel like people just look at it like, what the hell? Like that didn't break you when I allowed lesser adversity to cause me to be broken.
absolutely.
Yeah, or they totally judge you. Then they're like, if you're not this amount of broken, then you must have not have cared as much as you claim that you care. Or you know,
Yes.
that's the biggest
Like,
thing. It's like, oh,
yeah.
you just don't take anything
Yeah.
seriously.
Right.
Well, I mean, it's like the
If
whole
you're-
controversy with Erica Kirk right now. Oh, she moved on really quickly. Oh, she didn't, whatever. I mean, I'm sorry. She's got there's a lot of stuff going on in her life, and you can't judge.
No.
What
can't
she's
judge.
going-
Period.
I
Like,
mean, you
you're
can,
not
but
you're not in her shoes.
right.
yeah.
Right.
I mean, I'm not saying good, bad, or indifferent. I'm just saying that you can't judge because you don't know.
You're on the outside looking in. You have no idea what
have
somebody's
no
going
idea.
through.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even the ones who look like, oh yeah, everything's great. They don't see us crying in our car.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to put that out there. We don't want you to feel sorry for us.
Yeah.
Right.
We're feeling sorry enough for ourselves.
Yeah.
We don't need you to help.
It's kind of
Yeah.
like the post. I posted something yesterday about just thinking about walking around carrying such heavy emotions and feelings that people don't literally have no idea what you're holding inside. But like, there's a point where you can feel sorry for yourself, but only for so long until you really should get up and like do something positive and help yourself and help others.
Yeah.
Like we could sit and mope around forever.
But that
what
doesn't
good is
accomplish
it? It does
anything.
nothing.
It does absolutely
Right.
nothing for anybody.
Right.
It doesn't do any good for you.
Exactly.
What you're not changing, you're choosing.
Yes.
I've recently heard that. And
Yeah.
I like that.
True.
Yeah. It's absolutely true.
Right.
I mean, like I said, and if you can help one person get past whatever they're going through,
Yes.
then, your tragedy, I'm not saying it was worth it, but it was, good can come from it.
Oh yeah.
We
No,
always
absolutely.
think and talk about that. I mean, there's so many people watching, regardless if it's like someone that you've lost or, addiction or, being abused or whatever it is. Like if you can not let that control you forever.
Yeah.
And it's just like a PTSD thing. Like I definitely had PTSD. I went to therapy or whatever. It was years ago. But I've also been through other things since then without going to therapy. And I feel like I'm doing okay. I know I'm doing okay considering the circumstances without going to therapy and just getting in touch with the nature, working out, having a support system, family, friends, or whatever. And I am very good at recognizing what I'm thinking about and then not letting that control me and pulling me down.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It's like sitting there and being like, oh, all right, I'm sad, but then I change my thoughts because I'm not going to let those negative thoughts like just push me and put me in a dark place.
Well, I like to always think of it this way: is that I can either choose to be destroyed and upset and angry and sad because of what's happened, or I can choose to be happy in spite of what's happened.
Yes.
Right,
So now
right.
instead of getting upset about losing my daughter, my son, or whatever it may be, I choose to be happy for them, and in a way, I'm
Right.
bringing them along with me
Yep.
Yeah.
on the journey. It's like I'm going
Yeah.
to be okay, and I'm going to be successful. I'm going to enjoy the experience of life because they were part of it.
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
not going to be
Yep.
destroyed because they're not here anymore. I'm going to continue on to be even better and happier
Right.
because of my experience with them.
Yeah.
Right.
I want to be joyful and happy for them.
Yeah.
They wouldn't want you miserable
Yes,
anyway.
I-
Yeah, they
Right?
Yeah,
would.
I mean,
Right.
that's the thing is,
Yeah.
you look at it, and if heaven forbid something was to happen to me, and I've told him, I says, I expect you to go on and continue and possibly remarry, and he's like, no, I couldn't, and I'm like, no, look,
I get
it's
it.
fine
Yeah.
if you do, because I want you to be happy. I don't want
Right.
you to sit there and and not move on and continue to live your life and be happy. And I really think you need somebody to take care of you because
because
I've been married to you for 34 years. I know you need someone to take care of you.
him
What
too.
are you talking about? I can brush my
He needs
teeth.
to find another laundry fairy, and all
Yeah.
that stuff. God forbid anything
That
happens,
very
but
phrase was used in our home just hours before you arrived.
see,
I said this
See?
morning, I said, how many people live here? And he's like, well, you. I says, oh, you, me, and the cleaning fairy.
Right, exactly. That's funny. You have one too.
I says, the cleaning fairy has been working way upstairs, and he's like, well, the cleaning fairy needs to get off her butt and do the stuff downstairs.
That's so something I would say.
It is so something you would say. Yep.
I'll brag to people. It's amazing. My laundry just jumps right in the dresser. I don't know how it gets there,
Yep.
but
That's weird.
Well, for what it's worth, he does laundry, and he does a great job. Other than he doesn't fold it exactly the way I want, but I'm okay with it most of the time. Just
I just got to the point I just don't bother folding it. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's just unfolded anyway.
it's underwear. I don't care if it's
Here's your
wrinkled.
stuff. I'm going to fold it the way I want my stuff, but here's your...
Yeah.
But
It's
he does a
clean.
great job of making sure that the laundry is done and everything, and so I am always grateful. I'm like, thank you very much.
Yep.
She is.
I mean, because when he's home, it has to be found before it can be washed. But he knows.
Yeah.
But even when we're on the road, he constantly, if we're on the road, he's constantly the one who's doing the laundry and taking care of stuff. And
cool.
I'm like,
Right.
that's great because
problem with that.
I'm doing other stuff.
Right. Like I like to mow the lawn in the summer. He does.
We like to mow the lawn.
I love it. Yeah.
Oh,
So relaxing.
I mowed the lawn a week and a half ago. Not that you can tell now.
Same here.
It's growing really fast right now.
It's been raining ever since we
Yeah.
got
Yeah,
back.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and but yeah, it was funny because he's like watching me on the camera as I'm mowing the lawn. That's
funny.
Because he was in Oregon at the time.
Oh.
But
Checking up on you.
exactly. But yeah, I
right.
mean, I grew up. My mother was always the one who mowed the lawn and took care of the yard. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I mow the lawn and take care of the yard. I enjoy it.
Yeah. Me too.
And
Yep.
it's just another thing. It's funny. My daughter used to say, she's like, are you sure you're not a guy? I'm like, I'm sure I'm not a guy. Just because I like doing guy things
It's okay.
doesn't
Women
mean-
can do it too.
I'm like, there's far more power in being a woman who does things that guys do. Because again,
Right.
male-dominated professions my
Right.
whole life.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I'm so glad I didn't grow up in that confused age where it's like,
Yeah. No.
no,
Yeah.
I'm good. But there's far more power in being a female who does, it's like my nieces, one time they were at school and they were telling their teacher, we're going fishing this weekend. And the teacher says, oh, your dads are taking you fishing? And they're like, dads don't fish. We're going with mom and grandma. What are you talking about? Dads
grandma.
don't
I love
fish. What? I mean, it was a totally foreign concept to them. Dads fish? No,
funny.
dads don't do that.
I like that. That's funny.
I
How
went
about
ahead.
the first one? Yeah.
Second
that's-
one.
Okay.
These are just random thoughts that we had, and this is something I only ask because I think of this myself. And we kind of touched on it earlier. Like I like to think. Well, I'll hear my son's voice talking shit to me if I'm sitting in emotions a little bit too much, and it helps because he absolutely would, because he wouldn't want me to be broken because of this. None of them would, and my ex-wife as well,
Yeah.
And not even assuming she sees things that's going on, sees how you guys are doing. I imagine she'd be pretty proud of you guys for how you're handling everything.
I think so.
I think so.
She, like I said, well, I mean, of course, we have our own religious beliefs, and she had varied from those as,
Yep.
when she got older, and I talked to her about what she felt about what was going to happen next. And she's like, well, I think my energy just kind of goes out into the universe, and and she's like, I believe God is whatever you think God is. And she was talking about a little bit being with her brother, a little bit kind of watching over her. And I was like, yeah, and our beliefs are that we're together as a family, and we'll have that opportunity. I'll have the opportunity to raise my son, and that we'll all be together, and as a unit as long as we want to be.
Yeah.
And so that's it's a great comfort. But again, I have that knowing that they're together, in my opinion,
Right.
and they're able to actually get to spend some time together. And it's a little jealous, but it is what it is. And of course, his father, who's already passed too, is he's there too, and with them and taking care of him and watching over him. And so it's
I like the way you explain it, because I feel very very similar in the way you feel about all of that. And I'm sometimes I have like this complete faith, and when I'm able to have that complete faith of, there will be a time again when I have them in my arms, vice versa. And then other times my faith, I don't want to say I question anything, because I don't necessarily question anything, but other times my mind just gets away from that. And when I get away from that, that's when it hurts,
Yeah.
And
I mean, here's the thing, is you can believe what you want to believe. And people are like, well, how can you believe in God? How can you believe in something that's afterwards? I'm like, well, if I don't, then there's nothing.
Right.
And if there's nothing, then the pain would be unbearable. Right. But the way I believe in God, if I'm wrong and I die, I've been happy up until the time that I died.
Right.
I've been okay with everything. But if I, if I'm right, oh, glory day.
Yeah.
Fantastic. It's like,
Yep.
well, it's like the old joke about the guy. He's like, the doctor tells him that he needs to stop eating donuts, or he's going to shorten his life. And the patient's like, so let me get this right. I can live an extra 6 years if I stop eating donuts. And the doctor's like, yeah, that's right. Okay. So, in my world, I can eat donuts until I die, and in your world, I have to live an extra 6 years without donuts.
It'd be miserable. Yeah.
I mean, so it's that choice. It's, do you choose to believe and choose to have the comfort that belief gives you? And, again, people are like, well, what if you're wrong? So what if I'm wrong? So what?
But what if you're right?
So what if I'm right? If I'm right, glory be, fantastic day. If I'm wrong, I've had that comfort and that guidance until...
I think this is the 62nd or 63rd podcast episode, and back in our 18th podcast episode is the first time we talked, because we initially said no politics, no religion, and it wasn't because I'm Christian, and I have my own beliefs, and that's spam calling me. Of course. And but I remember in our 18th episode, this was at this point we were going to church for about a year and a half, and I remember saying, I'm like, what, I don't push religion or my beliefs on anyone. However, I will say what has worked for us.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, thank God I had that faith backing before we navigated anything. And and I hope that there's people out there, somebody sees this, is going through a severe adversity. Not that I don't hope they're going through the adversity, but somebody that is, I hope they see this and they're like, what? Maybe I should try. Just try. I mean, if people are willing to try antidepressants, people are willing to try all this other crap or hard drugs, just try praying. Just try casting your.
You know,
Just,
I drove a young lady to the airport the other day, and she was German. And she grew up. Her family was Polish, so her formative years were in Poland, but most of her life was in Germany. And she's like, so I was baptized as Catholic, but then I went to Germany, and Germany really doesn't have religion. And she's like, and she's like, I feel like I am more into the science of things, and I really am not religious, even though I was baptized Catholic. She's like, and, I told her, that we were members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And she's like, yeah, they're really big about family. I says, yes, we are really big about family. And she's like, well, I may not believe in religion, but I believe that the unity that you all bring together with the family is really amazing. And I'm like, and we had a really great discussion. About religious, following a religious path versus not. And she's like, she says, I don't think I'll ever be religious. And I says, and that's fine. That's up to you. That's right. But I find comfort in the religion that I have. And it's, again, it's not something that we talk about a lot, and it's not because we don't need it or feel it. It's because it's you really just don't want to bring it up to people who aren't ready to hear it.
Right. It kind of pushes them away. Does the opposite of
people have different conceived ideas about what they think you believe.
Right.
And it's kind of like I want to have a conversation when they have an understanding that would allow us to actually have a conversation. If it's just well, you guys are nuts and crazy, I'm like, well, you're nuts and crazy too, and then you're not really having a conversation. You're just
bumping heads, kind of.
Yeah. And I just don't care for those conversations anymore. That's the thing.
It doesn't really go
what
anywhere.
do you mean? Are there a lot of those going on online right now?
Well, that's what it's sort of a big thing for me, especially with social media, was I got to that point where I was just like, I don't want to participate in this negativity, nastiness anymore. I was making jokes. I was making jokes and political and everything. I never shied away from it, but I just got to the point where it was like, I just don't want to be a part of this anymore. I want to help people find joy in this life, because it's so short. We don't know when it's going to be over.
Right.
Why spend all of our time arguing with strangers about things we don't really care about?
Right.
To prove a point, to be right. I mean, who cares?
Yeah.
And and look, I was in debate in high school and college. I went to college on a debate scholarship. I know that, and you're taught to take both sides. You have to be able to defend and take down both sides of an issue and to really study it. So I've been through that. I know how to look at something, and trying to talk to somebody online who's not capable of comprehending when they've lost an argument. You're just it's a fool's errand.
Yeah.
I thought, I just don't want to be a part of that anymore. And so when I started really making these videos, and my whole goal was to just spread positivity, give people positive, constructive ideas that they can bring into their life.
Yeah.
And that's it. And I've stayed true to that, even though people keep trying to get me to pull me into politics.
Yeah, same here.
All the time, and I just tell them, my standard answer is, whatever you agree with, I disagree with.
Yep.
And so you can make the decision about it either way. Because I'm just like, I don't. I mean, if you want to decide all of my politics based on what I think about a local referendum on, what's going on at the school, you're an idiot. And so it's just.
Well, our
just
son
so
has a friend, and they're diametrically opposed as far as, but they've had this friendship for 14 years?
Yeah, ever since they were in high.
Since they were like 16.
Yeah.
Anyway, they've had this friendship for a very long time, And, he just always would not talk politics or religion with her. And, she was always talking politics and religion. And, finally.
He was never really interested in politics at
Yeah.
all. He wasn't.
Yeah.
He couldn't tell either way.
But it was through his friendship with her that he decided, he's like, well, maybe I should figure out where I stand on these issues. And so he, being our child, explored it from all the different angles. And, came out, again, diametrically opposed to her, but he didn't stop that from, let that stop him from being her friend.
Right.
And a couple years ago, she finally figured out that he had a completely different political viewpoint. She was shocked. So now she likes to debate him, and she's like, she thinks that she's really good at debate. And he's like, yeah. So she presents an argument, and then he counters that argument with reason and facts, and then she cries, and then that's the end of the discussion.
And then won't speak to him for.
And then she won't
months at a
speak
time.
to
my
him
gosh.
for a couple of weeks.
See, let's just not talk about it and,
And
let people feel
he's
how
like,
they want
look,
to feel.
We've been friends this entire time.
Yeah.
We've had, I've had these views this entire time, and she's just convinced that if she just has that one argument, that he's going to come over to her side. And he's like, no, he's like, you don't understand my side. I understand your side completely.
I feel like things have just gotten so ridiculous that I'm watching people on both sides get just enraged. I'm like, isn't it so ridiculous that people got to be like, all right, this is a joke at this point? A lot of things.
I'm sorry, you can't base
it's
this
like they
identity politics is just ridiculous.
Yeah, both sides are just sort of turned into caricatures.
Yeah.
Of
Yes.
working
Yes.
as intended, and
Right.
I mean, it's great. It's got everybody wrapped around their finger. I feel like, and
It
like,
does. It
but
does.
I have so many intelligent people that I know. I would love to name their names. There's so many, but they're like it's a compliment. But no, they're just like some of the smartest people I know.
Yeah.
And they're fully engulfed in it. I'm like, how?
There's so much
Like,
more important things to worry about and try to discuss and
Oh,
fix
yeah.
than all of that crap.
Oh,
Well, they
yeah.
create all these distractions so
Yeah.
that we're all, we're sitting here over here complaining about the concession stands. Meanwhile, they're running
Yep.
the game that they want to they want
Right.
to play, and you
Yeah.
don't even realize what game's actually going on.
Yeah.
because you're so
Like,
worried
I
about.
don't want to engage in that. I just
Right.
But technology is so advanced right now with AI and
Oh, it's crazy.
they could literally and I used this example before, and it seemed this 5 years ago I'd be a conspiracy theorist and I'd be crazy if I were to say
Yeah.
this, but now the entire thing with the Middle East, the entire thing could be literally fake, in every aspect of it could have been generated with news, artificial images, and we would never know.
Never know.
And then they
Yeah.
could skyrocket all the gas fuels, and that's the thing. And I was driving thinking about this on the way here actually, and I'm
of
like,
course,
man,
as you were filling up your
yeah,
tank.
oh yeah, yeah.
Literally.
Well, I'm like,
Paying $4.75 a gallon.
Yeah.
well, if they had this this magic talking genie that they could say, hey, I need the exact analytics at the most amount of money Americans can pay without going complete anarchy. What is that number? I mean, I'm pretty sure we've had this technology for more than a couple of years now.
Oh, and I'm
Oh,
sure
yeah.
it's been used on us.
Oh, and I
Oh,
think
well,
it's
yeah. Oh my
actively
gosh,
being
yeah.
used.
For
You
sure.
remember? I mean, was the movie Wag the Dog?
Never seen it.
Never heard of it, I don't
Oh.
think.
Is that?
That's a good one, though.
Yeah.
Is it?
The basic storyline is that they use international politics to cover domestic issues.
Okay.
I guess that I don't want to ruin the movie for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
You should see it. But yeah, it's how they'll start a war just to cover up what's going on.
Uh-huh.
And now they don't
Over
even have
here.
to do that.
in
They
the-
could
in
just
the
fabricate it.
Bedrooms
Yeah.
at the White House.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, it's
Yeah, my mind goes down that road of just like, especially being online and stuff, and I'm like,
well. I mean, the problem with being a conspiracy theorist is half your conspiracies come true, and then you're like,
Yeah.
what am I going to conspiracy about now?
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Real. It's scary.
And I work with AI a lot, in my profession, working in IT, and I'm like, as I've seen things change, even over the last few months, it's interesting. We just recorded with a guy, Jeff Knos, not Nos. I thought it was Jeff Nos, but he's the CEO of an AI company in upstate New York, and it's an AI company doing virtual employees, and some people are probably like, why the giving would you promote? Because giving him a platform is promoting him, but he has a great he has a great outlook on it, and
Yeah.
and there really is no avoiding what's going to happen in the future.
Come on, do the 3-finger test.
Yeah. yeah. He had some very interesting insight. I haven't aired that episode. I haven't even edited it yet.
It was a
but
cool
it's-
conversation. He's super smart, and like it was cool. Like AI is going to happen no matter what. Technology is going to advance no matter what. And he's like, I want to know the life my kids are going to be in, and he just
Yeah.
gets into
I
it.
mean, I use AI all the time.
Yeah.
And
For descriptions
I
and
have
stuff
people-
like that. It's
yeah.
great.
Oh, yeah.
research, all
Yes,
kinds of stuff.
yeah.
And I have people
He used
that get-
AI to predict how much he was going to pay for his car repairs.
Yeah,
I mean,
everything.
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
everything.
Yep.
Yeah, when you understand how to talk to it, it'll get you what information you want.
Right.
Correct.
Far more superior to than Google, where you're typing.
Hoping
Literally.
to find it somewhere. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
doing all that craziness, but it's just it's funny that these people are like I'll make posters for shows,
Yeah.
and I'll use AI,
Yeah.
and I don't try to hide the fact that I'm doing it.
Right.
And I have people say, I will never go to your show if you're using AI for your posters. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Why does that
All
make
right.
a
yeah, it's like,
difference?
it's funny to me when they get mad because I'm supposed to do old school and just use Photoshop.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, I was here when people were arguing that Photoshop was the end of
Right?
the world. Well, that was the
Like Photoshop is
Antichrist.
probably gone. Like you have to use AA now. It's like,
Yeah.
come on.
I mean,
Just,
it's
who
it's so
cares?
ridiculous. But
Yeah.
at the same time, it's also funny to me as from a spiritual aspect, how we as time goes on, I tell people you need to be better at listening to the Spirit, because the Spirit always is going to tell you the truth. You're always going to know the truth. You just have those times where you hear something and you just know that's right, but you can also know when somebody's lying.
Right.
And it comes into that. I think it's a spiritual thing. I think the Spirit will bear witness to the truth of all things.
Yeah.
And all of this that's going on with AI and everything else, this is the best time to really become spiritually in tune.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you can have literally 90% of the things that we see on the internet is fake.
Right.
It's all made up. It could all be wrong. It could all be gone.
Right.
And it's just such a crazy thing to be going through. And I get excited, now to think I'm right here in the middle of this incredible time to be alive.
Yeah.
All this technology that we've thought about. I mean, just
Couldn't
the
even
things that
imagine.
have happened
I
in
know.
I remember watching James Bond when I was a kid, and
cool
and
gadgets
Star
and stuff.
Trek
The
and all this
Jetsons.
stuff.
Come on.
I literally think
I
of that
know.
all the time. I know.
Yeah, I know. I'm sitting here going, I have all of that and better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Right here. I mean, right in my phone. Everything I
Yeah.
could have ever hoped for.
Have you played with a modern drone yet? I brought mine for the record, but if it's not raining.
Oh yeah, I've a little bit. Not. I haven't.
I won't touch
I've-
it.
I've-
That's scary to me. I'd
But
touch it.
it's just, it's
Yeah.
so, and it's for people to be scared of it. It's like, I know it's here. It's stuff that we know it's going to be there. And if you want to go hide in the woods and I don't know what it is you're trying to prove, but
Yeah.
it's here. It's going to be here. And most of the stuff that is AI, you don't even realize it's AI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's part of the game, is they want you to think AI is one thing, but in reality it's something else, something you can't recognize.
Right.
So they give us this sort of this
Hey, if it's got
toy
6
version.
fingers.
It's a toy version. We think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's all the distraction, because if you
Yeah.
knew what it really was, that's when you should be scared.
Yeah.
But learning it and understanding it and having it because it can be so beneficial to you and everything. I mean, it's incredible.
Oh, we talk a lot about education with her working at school. I mean, I think there's so much room for improvement for the educational system
Yeah.
that it's individualized.
Well,
learning.
I've been not anti-education. I'm pro learning, but not necessarily the educational system.
But there's a lot of
Yep.
flaws.
No, I know.
Yeah.
We don't
Yeah.
understand how people learn, but I really don't think it's in age specific groups. with a cluster of students who are, I'm sorry, we should be, in my opinion, we should be teaching to an education level, not necessarily to an age level.
Yes.
100%.
Comprehension level.
Yes.
And the school system does not.
And the school
condone to
system
that
does not
idea
teach
at
it. The school system is designed to teach you to sit down, shut up, and pay attention
Yep.
to whoever's in charge.
Right.
It's designed to make good little worker bees, not
Yeah.
to make people who
Yeah,
think.
and the whole idea of no child left behind just basically means let's keep everybody
Can't even get me
back.
started on that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So-
Everybody back. I've never
Yeah.
heard that.
The whole, yeah.
So, I understand I have
I like that.
controversial views on education.
That's fine. No, I love it.
But I think that the whole entire school system needs to be reformed
We
because
were literally just talking about that.
because people need to know how to evaluate and comprehend information. They don't need to memorize facts and figures. And I mean, you've got a
Cell phone
computer in your pocket
Right, exactly.
that can tell you, when the War of 1812 was, if you can't figure that out on your own.
Yeah.
But, you need to know, how to, you need the common sense, you need the evaluation of, is this real or is this not real?
Social interaction. I think that aspect of it's important.
Yeah.
Learning
Yeah.
how to
And
socialize.
we hold our teachers back.
Yeah.
Yes.
We don't allow them to actually do what they've been trained to do.
Yeah,
Right.
it's
Right.
more about,
They're
the
there
policies and
to-
procedures and...
Yeah.
They're all literally holding a book, walking around, reading everything to the entire class, the same thing, and it's not individualized at all. They're reading from something.
Yeah.
So if little Johnny over here has no idea what you're talking about, you have to just be like, well, like, what do you say to him? Because it's all just in here.
And everybody
Yeah.
learns so differently.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm one who, I was always independent in my learning. And, I wish that I would have had the opportunity to have self-directed learning. Because I did. I learned a lot of stuff on my own that was completely outside of the curriculum. And, for example, it was funny. I took AP classes. And I didn't take the AP history test the year that I took the AP history, but then I went and took it the next year and passed it. And they're like, how, you didn't, and I'm like, well, I love history. So yes, I know these things about history because I love history and I love to read about it. And it's, it's my own personal study. It's not anything I was taught in school. Just, I said, it's all about, when we pulled our kids out of school and started homeschool, I remember we're having a conversation because they pulled us in because we're horrible parents, but that's a whole other story. And, and I said, and I'm talking to the teachers and I said, look, I just have a different philosophy of education. I think it should be interesting. I think it should be fun. I think it should be engaging, to the students. And, one teacher says, well, any kid could learn like that. And we just looked at each other and we went,
because the rest of the room's
What?
agreeing with her, like, yeah.
yeah, they're like, yeah,
that's a terrible
that's like
thing.
a terrible thing.
And we're just looking at each other like, it was that moment that we both knew, because
Yeah.
we were kind of on the fence about taking the kids out of school.
Yeah.
And it was like that moment, it was like, oh yeah,
That's
well,
it.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Thanks.
We're
That's
done.
it. Yeah.
I've been
Thanks.
hearing a lot of people talking about homeschooling now. And
Yeah.
but then
Well, it is growing. And,
Yeah.
they're like, oh, well, I don't want my weird, I don't want the kids to be, yeah, I'm sorry, but homeschool kids now are more well-adjusted. They're, not stymied into these age-appropriate, they're able to engage with people of different ages. They're able to have
Right.
reasonable conversations. They're able to, do more things. And it's not, the weird kid isn't the one that's homeschooled. The weird kid is the one that's in public school.
Right. And I think people get a thought in their head that, like, everyone that is homeschooled is, like, a hermit. And they just
Yeah.
stay inside the
Yeah.
house all the time.
It's
but
like-
they do so much more
Oh,
cool
yeah.
stuff, than
Oh yeah,
the
we
school
took the
does.
kids. We would take the kids to go to Boston and go see
Yeah.
all the different things
On
out there.
the
and
Freedom
everything.
Trail, we went to Bunker Hill.
We got
we
to go
went
during the week.
Yeah, when no one was
when
there.
All the kids
that'd be
were,
nice.
all the kids
Yeah.
were in school. They go and they get
Yep.
direct lessons from the museums and the people that work there, and all these different sites,
Yeah.
and they got direct contact and understanding and experience,
Yeah.
and they're dealing with adults.
Yeah.
They're peer, they weren't seeing the world through the lens of a bunch of other knuckleheads at their same age. They were
Yeah.
actually communicating with real adults. They were more geared for the real world than any of their kids
Yeah.
their age.
Yeah.
There should be state grants for families that homeschool.
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And the biggest thing with our kids is we weren't there to teach them things. We were there to teach them how to learn.
Yeah.
Teach them how to, we would give them an assignment, say, okay, tell me about this, this.
It's one of the things I loved about Connecticut. One of the things. I had to find something.
Yeah.
But just the way that they allow you to do the homeschooling here is
You just sign a paper where you're saying you're responsible for your child's education, and that's it.
that's it.
There's no
Really?
checking
Yeah.
in. There's no
Really?
There's no standardized test. It's nothing.
Really?
It's just-
You're
it's just-
responsible, and
Says you're responsible, and that's it.
we had
Wow.
nothing to do with it. We're like, thank you.
New York is so different.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
well,
crazy.
we had friends, in California and Texas that they still have to take the kids in for testing like every
Right.
6 months, and they have to do a report saying where they're all that.
Right.
Connecticut, nothing. We just
No
signed
kidding.
a paper said we're responsible. And that's it.
That's
That's,
cool.
Yeah, I never knew that's a thing.
yeah.
And it was, it's the best because our kids now, when they want to learn something, they know exactly how to go and research it, and study it, and know
That's
about it.
cool.
Yeah, our youngest has taught himself video editing, and he just put out this video, and there's a lot of people that are just, because Rodney shared it, so there's a lot of people who are watching it now. And, he's getting the comments saying, oh, man, this is some great editing. You've done,
Aw.
so, yeah, it's,
I
said they learn how to learn.
That's what Tiana,
right.
she would, one of her passions was making music videos using clips from the animes that she liked.
Yeah,
Okay.
And she had one that had like 19 million views.
Oh wow.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it did really, really well. Of course, she's not monetized. She couldn't get, because it was, she was using popular music. But, yeah, it was bigger than the video that the band put out. So,
Wow. That's
cool.
awesome.
I'm finding a lot of I love the creativity aspect of editing because I look back to when we started 3 years ago. I knew nothing about it. Arguably, I still know nothing, but no.
No,
Yeah.
you're doing
I,
really good.
I did some.
but there's so many resources out there now
Oh,
where you
yeah.
can teach yourself.
Yep.
I mean, I know I hear this every day. It's like, teach yourself another language, teach yourself,
Yeah.
and they're starting to learn how we learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like the gal I was talking to from Germany the other day. She's like, well, you know how I learned English was watching television.
I've
And
heard that before.
yeah,
Like people doing that.
yeah, she's like she took 8 years of English in school, but the way she really learned it was watching
Okay.
television. Because then she could see natural speakers in their natural, way, and and so that was when she started to learn and really comprehend and understand English.
Cool.
I feel so comfortable with video editing. I've been able to make some. I'll send you, Rodney, one of these videos I made. I put it on YouTube as our trip to Arizona with some drone footage and just some B-rolls mixed in with some music, and it came out like I sent it. So it looks like an advertisement for the state of Arizona.
Definitely.
Her mom
Like,
said that.
Yeah.
And in it, like I was really proud of it, and I got thinking, I'm like, man, we're talking on the way here. I'm like, I would love to be able to do videography for a wedding completely for free. And I was thinking about this. I'm like, I should advertise, if there's a first responder in the area that's getting married, do the whole wedding videography for free. I could come up with I could do the music and everything. It would be absolutely beautiful. And and I would take pride in it. And then I can utilize that as my hey, this is what I can do.
Yeah.
And and I see what some of those guys make. I'm like, I would be happy with a tenth of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
And the creativity aspect of doing things, as you know, there's something about it, and rather than, not that I'm grateful for my 9 to 5, but it's like, I heard somebody say you can either be creative or you can spend the rest of your life making somebody else money. And
Yeah. Well, it's funny because we say it all the time. It's like, it's been a long time since I had a job.
Yeah.
And I said that to somebody the other day. Like, I love that you spell that. I'm like, it's a dirty word in our house.
I can't say it.
J-O-B. I'm like,
Yeah.
we don't say it. It's a J-O-B.
Yeah.
How long are we at right now? We are at
Can you see it?
75, but I restarted. So we're at 8 minutes. Well, I got. I'll give you a second if you need to process. But if today was your last day, and you had a message for the world, Rodney, I feel like this would be so easy for you to just answer right off the hip. But if you had one last message for the world, what would Rodney Norman's message be?
You're awesome.
Don't waste your time on things you have no control over. And that's pretty much everything.
Yeah.
All you have is your thoughts and the way you handle the world. So just enjoy the life that you have for what you can. Do what you can with what you got, and hope for the best. And love the ones you love a little bit better.
Yeah. Oh, you can tee off that, Teresa, if you have a different opinion. But
Well,
that's
as I'm
pretty-
sitting here listening to the rain come down,
I know.
I hate rainy days.
Yeah.
But
Sounds
It
beautiful.
makes me tired, but I like it.
But at the same point in time, just because I don't like things about the rain doesn't mean that I let that stop me from going out in the rain. And one thing I learned a long time ago is I don't run when it's raining. You know, if I'm going into the store, I'm going to my car, whatever it is, I don't let the rain and the fact that I don't like the rain stop me from doing things in the rain.
Yep.
Some people feel the rain, some people get wet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
you know, it's just because there's rain doesn't mean it's going to change my life. It's
Yeah.
not going to change my way of doing things. It's just, you know,
Because there's always going to be rain.
there's
Yeah.
always going to be rain.
Yeah.
And you know what? The rain makes things grow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It makes, you know,
We
I
need
mean,
it.
it's going to come back and, yeah, beautiful things are going to happen because of the rain.
Yeah.
So it's like the rain. Some people don't like the rain, but it makes things grow. Adversity.
Yeah, exactly.
If you don't have adversity in your life, how are you going to grow?
Exactly.
I appreciate every day of my life more than I ever have. You know, not. And the flip side, I'm like, God, all right, I'm grateful enough. I don't need to be more grateful. But,
Yeah.
and,
Could you please stop
I know.
making me grateful?
you know, and that immediately makes me think. I heard Rodney say something a couple of years ago that stuck with me. I've repeated this on a few different podcasts where you said you had the privilege to watch your brother die from cancer. And like some people would hear that and be like, "What?" And I knew your
Exactly
perspective
what you
on
meant,
that, and
yeah.
that's a beautiful phrase. And
Yeah.
Well, he knew it was going to end any time, so he just enjoyed every day that he had.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm listening to a book right now that's super relevant. It's called Bonnie Ware's. It's 5 Regrets of the Dying, and it's about this young lady. When she was younger, she took care of people that were terminally ill, and not just elderly. And she just, of course, learned their 5 top regrets throughout her experience doing this, and it's beautiful. I can't read. I can read, but I don't do books, so I listen to audibles. If I'm not listening to podcasts, it's audibles, and it's beautiful. And the number one regret is living a life true to yourself.
Yeah, you don't want to look back and go, wow, I'm really glad that I did this for my parents, or I'm really glad that I did that. You want to live and think, I'm really glad I did this for me.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking in a selfish way.
Yeah.
Because
self-love.
Yeah. Because when you're happy, the other people around you are happy.
Yep.
I agree.
Yep.
And it's a lesson I learned a long time ago was that me being happy, well, he's easy to make happy. Men are easy to make happy. I know that. They're very easy to satisfy, but women are not.
Right.
And so we find that happiness in ourselves, and that will spread to our spouses, it'll spread to our families,
Yep.
and it'll spread to the world. But we have to find it in ourselves first.
Sometimes in making soap, by the way.
Yes.
If anybody needs soap,
Soap.
you are still
Yes.
making it, right?
And I am still making soap, and
Okay.
I started making
tallow cream.
tallow cream.
Yes. Yep.
So
She has been
We
using
have
it.
some. Yes. Yep. We have like 3 different jars.
yeah,
You gave us. Yeah.
yeah.
And apparently it lasts a long time because it's been like 6
Oh,
months.
you just
now.
need a little bit.
You just need
yeah.
the tiniest
Right.
bit.
Yeah.
It's like just a tiny bit, and
Yep.
it works great.
Yeah.
And
It smells very good. Oh, it smells so good.
Oh, and like super important.
I make T-shirts.
Fair enough.
When you're talking about selling T-shirts
What don't we
earlier,
do?
Because Rodney's like, I don't know if you have. I've seen your post. I haven't heard you talk about it. You are doing a movie.
Yes, I
can't forget the
I've
movie,
had
Rodney.
people-
I know.
I've had people tell me they're writing a movie for me. And they
Okay.
were doing my character. And I had one guy who we went through actually started filming it. As we're filming it, I'm like, this isn't my character at all, right? And he's like, but I wrote it just for you. And it was just, it just wasn't right. And then I've had other people who said, I wrote this part just for you. And then I would start reading it. And it's like, F this and F that. And don't be a, and I was like, I don't think you understood my character at all.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like, just, this is softcore porn is
Yeah.
what you're asking me to do. And after having had all these experiences with this and wanting to make a movie, I was just like, I just need to just do my own.
Yeah.
And so I was in Oregon and
Bigfoot country.
Bigfoot's, everywhere.
It's so funny.
And that's when I just thought, that's it. I'm going to do a buddy film of me and Bigfoot.
Awesome.
So cool.
So
Awesome. We were laughing at your double, by the way.
Oh my gosh.
Like
I think I immediately took a screenshot of it and sent it to him. The guy on one of your posts looks so much like you. I was like, yes, it's a stunt double.
Yeah.
Perfect.
yeah, there's a few about that.
Well, my kids are actually, they're like, he says, I can play dad in his younger years if we have a flashback.
That's funny.
That's not bad.
Very
Yeah.
good, very good. But so I started to GoFundMe, and we're starting to put together.
So cool.
Yeah, we've got the script. Our son, who is got the most deadpan, hilarious timing, is working on revising the script right now. So I'm excited to see what he comes up with because his sense of humor is it's dry and so on point.
And he's got such a great grasp on the younger generation, what's hip and hop right now.
Yeah.
Plus, he has a very good understanding of older generations,
Yeah.
us.
Right. So,
he's
it's for like all ages.
yeah, he's a millennial.
Cool.
But he's right kind of in the middle of everything.
Yep.
He's grown up knowing, having a computer in the house his entire childhood. But at the same time, he still remembers when, phones were just at the house.
Yeah.
Yep.
Still in
Yep.
that world. And then seeing the news. So he was right, perfect
Yep.
transition. So we're
Cool,
excited.
good.
He's a smart kid, very
Yeah,
smart kid.
he's
So.
he's I said he'll blow you away, and people are funny because they're just like, did he really just?
He's the one I've been trying to get him to get on stage because he's just so funny. It would be so fun.
Does he
Yeah.
want to?
No,
No.
he just
Why?
never.
No, he has
never really had
no desire.
for it.
Oh man.
He's also
Maybe someday.
He's also an excellent singer, and
Oh yeah, I one morning he was driving me to the airport and he had
the Proclaimers,
the Proclaimers version of
King of the Road.
King of the Road playing. So I'm lying there, I'm still trying to get, I'm still half asleep, and I'm hearing the song, and I'm hearing, like in perfect harmony, I'm hearing three voices. I'm going, there's only two, there's the two brothers, and I was like, how am I look at him, and he is in perfect harmony, perfect pitch with the two
And
singers.
a Scottish accent.
And with the accent.
Really?
I mean, he nailed it. All three. I'm just like,
Who is this?
I was like, what's going on here? And I was just enjoying it so much. I was like, I had to play it again. I was like, I want to hear this.
That's so.
But he's always been a really just pitch perfect singer since he was since a kid.
We had this.
Trying to get him to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got so many talents, and
How old is he?
he is
31?
31.
Okay.
Just turned 31.
Young.
And oh yeah, so young. But you know, he said he's got his own business and he's doing that, and
Cool.
you know, and he doesn't date, and it's like he's a great catch for some young lady,
Yeah.
but he
Someday
doesn't-
when time is right.
When do you think the ETA for the movie is it going to be a lot of work behind it?
Yeah, like I said, we got to get the script, you know, figure it out, and then start.
I think
the
the
biggest
biggest
thing
thing
is
is
finding
the Bigfoot.
the Bigfoot costume is going to be, you know, the makeup for that's going to be a big deal. So
That's so awesome.
we're actually toyed the idea of having the Bigfoot character, you know, that you know it's not a Bigfoot, it's just a guy in a suit
Right.
who identifies as Bigfoot.
That's great.
And so we're playing around with that idea. That might make it cheaper.
Right.
You know.
Or
Right.
I possibly to maybe have it from, you know, Bigfoot's point of view, so you don't really have Bigfoot on screen a lot.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
we're still, you know, like
Yeah.
I said,
We're playing
I just
around
came up
with
with the idea a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
So we're
And
working
I
on
put
it.
a
Yeah.
GoFundMe up there. We've already got $2,000 in for, you know, to
Nice.
help with it. So,
Uh-huh.
Cool.
so it's kind of coming together. I've had a lot of
Yep.
people, you know, offering
Yeah.
this, that, and the other.
But you know, I mean, the thing is that you can do stuff like this nowadays. I mean, I think we all learned a lesson from, was it the Blair Witch Project?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't have to have the great special effects.
Right.
It doesn't have to have,
Yeah.
you know, there can be a lot that's done.
as long as it's a great story.
As long as it's a
Right.
good story, it can go places.
Yeah,
you can do,
exactly.
you know,
Yeah.
The medium's not that important anymore.
It's funny. Eddie Pinero, which makes beautiful cinematic footage and stuff. He said it's actually worked against him now. He said now there's like a shift for almost like, you know, the more, you know, shot from the hip type of footage rather than the well done, well produced. And you know.
Well, that's kind of where I think my videos themselves will stand out, because
For
I
sure.
was going for no production.
Yeah.
Right.
I wanted to, you know, so you got the noise in the background.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
sometimes the camera's off slightly.
Yeah. I love it.
lighting's not-
You had one. It was about 2 weeks ago, and like, I didn't even know if it was on purpose or not. Where you're framing the shot or something for like 30 seconds.
And didn't even like say anything, I think. And then you're like,
I'm
okay,
just
yep.
like-
That was it.
Yep.
So funny.
It's like, what the frig?
Yeah.
This
yeah.
guy.
That was great.
But,
Yeah.
Oh man, I appreciate this conversation. I would like
So
to.
fun.
I'd like to hopefully continue to do this like once every year or something like
Yeah.
that.
See
Oh,
where
sure.
everyone's
Absolutely.
at. That'd be
and
fun.
We got
Check
you know,
back in.
yeah.
If you guys are around the July 19th, you know we're organizing that
Yeah.
run, and you know we're having a cool little after party. Then I think I told you all the proceeds are going to the volunteer fire departments. It's dedicated to my kids. It's a 5K half marathon.
Oh,
and
okay.
but the after party. So Dave Olney was the chief of police. He's a state trooper, retired from the state troopers. He's the chief of police of the police department I used to work at, and he has a band called the Dusty Puppies. He does like Jimmy Buffett style music and stuff. And him and his band are playing. He volunteers like a sponsor. They're gonna play for the after party, and,
Oh,
and
cool.
we got a lot of support. So we're really excited.
I'm so excited for
And,
it.
and we thought, like, you know, like, I'd like there to be as much good to come out of this horrible situation as possible. And, you know, volunteer fire departments in the area, they've done a lot for us, you know. And so we're very grateful.
Definitely want to
So,
give back.
Yes. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
That's fantastic.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys very much. And
Well, thank you for
Yeah.
trekking all the way out
Absolutely.
here in the rain.
Great.
problem.
Oh, it's fine. He's driving. I'm just hanging out.
it's better than snow. And I don't mind
Definitely
driving in
better
the
than
snow.
snow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But awesome.